Hobbies are more than just something to keep you distracted from your daily life. They're a connection to others. They show the world how creative you can be, and they give you some end result for the time you spend on something. Welcome to a new video where today I'm talking about hobbies, or rather the lack of hobbies nowadays, and the importance of having a hobby, or having multiple. Now, I'm speaking generally, just from what I see from my generation, Gen Z, and millennials, so late teens, early 20s, is kind of what I'm aiming for here. So, hobbies are kind of disappearing. It's rare to find someone who has a cool hobby. I just say cool because something like watching movies or playing video games, I wouldn't really count. Video games can be a good hobby, but something like, oh, I play every Call of Duty or every NHL, I wouldn't count. I feel like hobbies are meant to connect people. They're important for finding your community, and they also allow you to show something for your time. It's almost like a skill, right? That's why music playing is such a cool hobby, is because you can show others the amount of time you dedicated to it. Or drawing is the same deal. Whereas with video games, I mean, I guess you can show off your epic Overwatch compilation, but it's more, I'd say, the story games that I would count for a hobby. Now, moving past that, I wanted to talk about how it seems rare to have an interesting hobby. I know a few people who are filmmakers or artists, but that seems to be more rare nowadays than anything. It's the fringe kids who are into this stuff. And I use that term as in not popular, but not like the weird kids. You know what I mean? They're kind of in between. They're like on the edge. That's what I'd consider myself as. But for majority of Gen Z or millennials that you'd see on the street, I find it's very difficult to strike up a conversation about a hobby. And now I know it's generalizing it, but that seems to be the theme. That's at least what I'm noticing. I feel like it's a lot easier for someone who's, in their 30s, so whatever generation that would be, where they're into, I don't know, quilting, or they're into something cool that it's like, oh yeah, that's awesome, tell me more about it. It's very difficult to have a conversation with someone. It's just about the weather, and it's just about, oh, did you see what happened in the news there? It makes for boring conversation. And that, I think, is one of the biggest issues nowadays, is a disappearance of hobbies. I will blame social media for it. I also think having quote unquote aesthetic hobbies is a bad thing. Just doing it for the looks or so you can post it online, I think that's not a great thing either. But the way I look at it is, I think it's cool to have something in common with a random person that you can talk about, where it's like, oh, I recently I'm trying to plant a Venus flytrap right now, and so there's a lot of old ladies who are into planting, and I never thought I'd have a hobby in common with them, but they're into planting, and I'm like, yeah, I was trying to plant this one. They're like, oh, did you try this? How do you water it? How does the soil take? And it's kind of cool because I never expected to have that conversation. That's why I think it's so important to have a wide variety of hobbies, is think about the amount of people you meet that you wouldn't initially meet. And if I'm being honest, I find it difficult to talk to people around my age, just because, like, unless they're wearing a shirt of something I'm into, often enough, they're just kind of boring. Like, it sounds weird, but I feel like it's true. Or it's just difficult to find that common ground. And it's almost a funny thing to have a hobby. I don't scroll Instagram all day. I don't scroll TikTok all day. And I don't get a lot of the memes or whatever. And I'm kind of like, I feel old, but even though I'm the same age as them, right? So I want to make it clear I'm not shaming anyone for this. You live your life however you want. That's not my purpose here. My purpose is just to explain how having a hobby can help you and, like enrich your life. There's a lot of either people I've met, friends I've met, or random conversations I've had that I never thought I would have, but it just happened because I was carrying something or I was wearing something, or even I just started talking about something that I randomly did one day just for fun, and that somehow led to a conversation. I think it's called the butterfly effect, where it's one small thing can lead to something bigger like that. And I think that's kind of crazy, is you never know what it can lead to. And now I think it's good. Don't get me wrong, I'm a huge nerd, so I think it's good to have nerdy hobbies. And I think that can really open your horizons, but also try out things that are not typically quote unquote nerdy. Like I mentioned, planting, that's kind of a cool thing, but it's not really a nerd hobby. So try that out. Or I don't even know. I'm blanking here. But you get what I mean. Like even let's say you're a video game person, you like playing video games, that's cool. And you got into drawing, but you only draw video game characters. That's fine, but what about trying to draw landscapes or something? What I'm saying is just try to get out of your comfort zone a bit because you don't know where it'll be. Now, this is a bit of a different video than my usual stuff. I hope it makes you a little less concerned for my mental health, which is good. So, yippee. But my point being is don't be afraid to branch out and try new things. You only live life once. And I think the next point is quite an important one too. You can find a lot of self-fulfillment from hobbies. If I'm being honest, I'll come home from a day of work. I'm sure many of us feel the same, but I don't feel accomplished. It's one of those things where I just did what I had to do. Sure, I get paid for it, but it's not really one of those things where I feel like I did something or I changed something. It's just, meh, another day at work, right? With my hobbies, I feel like I actually am doing something. With YouTube, for example, I make these videos as my own therapy because I find traditional talk therapy doesn't work too well for me. And I needed a way, an outlet more or less. And so I'll turn this on and talk as a way of exploring my own thoughts. And I find comfort in knowing that if people don't like it, they can just turn it off. For some reason, that makes me more inclined to do these because I know people aren't forced to watch these. Now, the point I'm trying to make here is that it's kind of nice to see a product for whatever you're working on. Let's say it was drawing, like I was saying before. If it's drawing, it's cool to see your product finally come to life, your drawing finally be finished. Or if it's, what other hobbies are there? Music, let's say. It's cool when you finally learn a song or you can finally play a song in front of someone. That's a pretty cool feeling. And you will definitely be more memorable by the person who plays music rather than the person who watches this TV show. That's just my opinion. And I'm sure other people will think differently. That's totally cool. If you think differently, that's fine. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying that's my own feeling. And I think if everyone kind of picked up a hobby and picked up different things to do, it'd be a really interesting experience to talk to people. And I feel like it would make everyone more curious about what other people do rather than just scrolling reels or something or scrolling TikTok. They're into quilting or sewing and they're seamstress. I find there's a lot of people I talk to that just have the same personality or dress the exact same. It's almost like a cookie cutter. And it's so boring because I'm like, you have the exact same things to say as the last person I just talked to. And these were people in my grade. These are people I saw every day. And their friend group all looks the same. And I'm like, I can't tell you guys apart. So what I'm saying is it's important to be an individual. Hobbies are important to get out there and experience something you don't normally do. So it's okay to get out of your comfort zone. So I hope this one was maybe a little bit more optimistic than the last. Hopefully a little bit more inspiring. Whatever it may be. I hope you guys got something from it already. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.